Hello, everyone, and welcome to Walking Through the Bible. There are plenty of stumbling blocks out there people give it as an excuse as to why they don't become Christians. And one of the major ones today revolves around the existence of God. If you read the science textbook, it will proclaim that this universe came from nothing via the Big Bang about 13.8 billion years ago, and life on this earth evolved over millions and millions of years via evolution by natural selection, where one species of life evolves into another. They claim that these conclusions are based on evidence that has been observed, while in reality, none of it has been observed. Nobody was there when the universe began, and there's no movie out there that would allow us to witness it. Fossil records do show the existence of animals that are extinct today, but they do not show evolution by natural selection. They show creatures that conform to the same life patterns that we see today, creatures reproducing after their kind. And all of the other evidences that scientists use to prove all of their conclusions, the same evidence that is being used to show the existence of God. And that's really the conclusion of the psalmist here in Psalms 19. So let's read the beginning of the psalm to learn what the scriptures teach about the existence of God. If you have a Bible with you, turn to the book of Psalms, to Psalms 19. We're going to be reading from verses 1 to 6. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Psalms 19, beginning at verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he has set a tabernacle for the sun, which is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices like a strong man to run its race. Its rising is from one end of heaven, and its circuit to the other end, and there is nothing hidden from its heat. Like many of the Psalms we've studied thus far, Psalms 19 was written to the chief musician, meaning that it was meant for the temple worship in Israel. It was written by King David, and we can find no reason not to accept this as true. This psalm really does provide the foundation for a belief in God and why Israel and us should worship Jehovah, the true God of this universe. When people ask today why I believe in God, I don't run to the science textbook. I don't run to the writings of men. I simply tell them, look out at this universe. How could you not believe in God? When we behold all the wonders that we see out there, the flowers that bloom each year without faith and their marvelous beauty, the raindrops that fall that help give life to every form of life on this expansive planet, how can we doubt that there isn't a God that created it all? We would not say that the electronic device that you're watching this on just came about from nothing. No, we would say that whoever the manufacturer was that made the phone designed the plans and then hired workers and utilized machines that were made to make it. Why then do we think that all of the stars we see, that the processes that formed them, and all of the atoms and molecules that make them came from nothing? Why do we think that the natural processes on this earth, from the water cycle to the magnetic fields to the circulation of the trade winds, came about by random chance and worked together for our good? Why do we think that the human body, which contains DNA that encodes who we are and replicates to ensure that we can survive even the short time that we do, the processes in our body that digests our food, cleanses toxins from our bloodstream, extracts the oxygen from the air we breathe in order to power our cells, all working together for our good, came from nothing? One process, sure, maybe two, but we're not talking about one or two processes. We're talking about thousands upon thousands of processes, some of which rely on the other processes to work in the first place. For instance, in order to be able to extract oxygen from the air we breathe, we have to have the muscles to inhale the air in the first place. We have to have lungs that are able to extract the oxygen from the air, sending it into the bloodstream while expelling carbon dioxide. And we have to have the brain to regulate such breathing so that we're not inhaling too much or too little air. The lungs need the bloodstream in order to power it, while at the same time providing the bloodstream the means of power. The lungs need the brain in order to regulate it, but the brain needs the oxygen in the blood that the lungs supply. And then, of course, you had to have the means that the body knows, as it were, that it could do these things in the first place. These molecules aren't alive on their own. It's an all-or-nothing process. I don't care if we have millions and millions of years. It doesn't make sense that this process came about by itself. And that's just one process. This system has to work with the other systems in the body in order for life to function. The chance that this process evolved on its own is infinitesimally low itself, but when combined with all of the other processes, if this was any other thing, we would say that it is impossible. You would have a better chance of winning the lottery jackpot 1,000 times with 1,000 tickets than life coming from nothing. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament, everything that makes life possible, shows his handiwork. It is declared each day and each night in the way this earth rotates and revolves around the sun, giving us our seasons via the earth's tilt. Now, yes, skeptics like to say that this psalm seems to imply that the sun is what is moving around the earth, but remember, from our perspective, that is what it looks like. This is poetry, not a science textbook, so that we use imagery to make a point is not out of place. In Act 2, Scene 2 of Romeo and Juliet, Romeo says that Juliet is the sun. Is that meaning literal? No, Shakespeare is using a metaphor of the sun to describe her radiant beauty and the transformative effect she has on him. Why can the skeptic understand metaphor there, but not here in Psalm 19? The answer is because the skeptic is looking for any excuse not to admit the obvious, that God exists. But creation itself doesn't simply show that there is a God. The beauty of creation shows this. God could have created a utilitarian world, one that functions but has no beauty. Our computers are like this. While an engineer might say that a computer is a work of art, the average user does not. It's a bunch of microchips encased in a box being cooled by fans and programmed with code that enables us to do tasks. It can do great things, but it pales in comparison to the beauty that we see all around us. God made everything beautiful, functional, and beautiful. We're a fool if we look out at it and conclude that God does not exist and that all this beauty came about out of nothing through random chance. Because that's all the scientists can provide you. Random chance. No fine-tuning, no creator, just mindless random chance. That is what is considered knowledge these days. All done in order to avoid obedience to our Creator. But the psalm isn't over. There are consequences of God being the creator of everything. For I can know of God through observing creation, but I cannot know God through observing it. How do I come to know God? We'll find that out, the Lord willing, in the next lesson. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Psalms 19, verses 7 to 14, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. We thank you for watching Walking Through the Bible today. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. But if you like this video, we ask that you consider subscribing to our channel so you won't miss out on other videos in our series, as well as share this video among your friends so that the saving message of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.